competition, and it's kind of like next man up right now. So we have so many guys, so you kind of got to roll them and try to put people in spots. But they've been competing, and I've been pleased with that part of it. And everybody's been learning everything, which is great, which helps you in terms of trying to put people in positions to play. So it's been competitive, but it's guys are working. It's awesome.
Al, the day your first press conference here, I asked you, what would it be like to be in a position to look at your whole room from top to bottom with no preconceived notions, and kind of start a new depth chart or start a new thing from just your own analysis? I mean,
Yeah.
what's that been like for the first few weeks to just kind of sit back and get these guys on the field and
Yeah.
really see what you've got in that room like with your eyes?
It's been awesome because here's why. Every kid knows that, so you get everybody's best. Like nobody's comfortable, nobody's complacent, everybody's growth minded, everybody's eager. And so as a coach, I'm not coaching effort. And I'm not saying a place like this you ever would, but it's human nature, right? So it's been awesome because everybody's kind of bought into that and actually helping each other, man. Oddly enough, I say oddly enough, but guys are very supportive of each other. But when they out there, they want it. So it's been fun in that way.
Is that hard?
As a coach,
Just meaning like, usually you have precedent, you've got people who started, you've got returning starters, you've got captains. Is it hard to start from top to bottom from the beginning?
well, I mean, look, Malik Harrison, for example, he's a fourth-year guy. He's a senior. I mean, clearly he's not on the same level as a freshman, right? I mean, so when I say that nobody's comfortable, I mean, Malik Harrison has earned enough equity in his body of work. He's an excellent talent. So I don't mean that. I mean more so in the middle. But you take a guy like Dallas Gant, who's a young player, and he's getting opportunities, emerging. Taraji Mitchell, like those guys to me are the ones I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah,
So some guys do have equity.
you got to. I mean, you know what I mean? Like a guy like that. I mean, you gotta. I mean, and he's shown that he's worked his tail off. He's been a. I mean, he's been he's been a leader. So I don't want to be. I don't want to say that.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like a guy like Tough Borland.
Yeah, tough. Yeah, those guys, man. I tell you, Pete Warner, Justin Hilliard, Baron Browning. Those guys who've been here, man. I mean, they got equity. So I mean, you respect that, and that stuff matters.
But are you in a position where you would make a change if you felt it wasn't the right move?
I wouldn't say. I mean, this is the fourth practice. I think it is. So I mean, he's still got a lot left. So I don't feel like I'm ready to answer that yet. But everybody's been working their tail off. So sure.
You mentioned Dallas Gant. What has he done to emerge?
Man, that guy, he's done all the little things. Talk special teams and our culture. And this is something that's been here for Coach Meyer, and I've been fortunate to be around coaches that have worked under Coach Meyer. But special teams is huge, right? And so a lot of times it's the rite of passage for a young player. And so Dallas Gant, man, he's taken that and ran with it. He's done a great job in his role as a linebacker, man. You watch the tape, he shows up. He's competing, and he's every day getting better. So really excited about him. He's done a great job.
This unit took a decent amount of criticism last year. When you watched the tape, did you feel like that was justified? And how do you feel like you guys look so far? Do you feel like this will be a strength of the team?
Yeah, I mean, last year criticism. I mean, they lost one game, so everybody's got stuff to improve on. So I don't really get that much thought, to be honest. It's a great culture, and yeah. So I mean, human nature comes in every once in a while, but that's normal. But yeah.
What's the adjustment to Ryan Day?
Adjustment?
Yeah.
Man, you know what? I don't know if there is. I mean, I think he's obviously done a really good job of just communicating. So I don't know if there's an adjustment, and that's hard for me because I'm just getting here.
Yeah.
So it seems like everything is rolling. To my understanding, rolling like it has been.
So. Al, I know you guys have been experimenting with a hybrid linebacker safety kind of position. What is your guys' goal for that position?
Just the playmaker, put them in position to make plays. See what they can do well. Kind of grow their skill set. So me and Coach Matty, we every day is kind of like, and Jeff, Coach Athley, trying to figure out, what a guy does well, and then try to put him in position to do it. What? Why? Oh God. That's my guy right there.
Will you guys recruit to that position, or do you just take what you've got and find?
That's a great question. You're a ball guy. Because so the origination of that position was you take a safety who maybe not as fast and you plug him into that position. But now I feel like that guy, I mean, you think about historically, that guy is a guy who can sack. He can pass, rush the passer. Not every safety can do that. He's a guy that has to be able to play at the line of scrimmage, use his hands. Not every safety can do that. Guy has to be able to cover man, a slot. Not every linebacker can do that. So, and it's funny, high school is they set the trend. You're seeing high schools use that guy. And so you can recruit to that guy, I think, to a certain extent. That's a great question.
Al, would you mind just in how you anticipate you guys putting 3 linebackers on the field or whatever, 2 in the hybrid position on a typical down? And I know offenses change. I know there's no such thing as a typical offense or down anymore.
Yeah.
What are the responsibilities of the 3 linebackers who will be in on 1st and 10 most of the time?
Stop the run.
I just
And
can
play
you go what you just did with the hybrid position,
Yeah.
just how you think about linebacker and the kind of player you're looking for at each of those 3 spots.
Yeah, so you take the Mike and Will, those guys got to be, fundamentally, they got to be excellent because they're closer to the ball. And we're a fundamentally, I don't know what the right word is, but a focused unit. So we talk about leverage, you talk about footwork, you talk about hands, all those things, tackling. So we're looking for guys who kind of buy into that first off and that have built like a mastery of that. And then, you got to be instinctive. You got to be able to use your eyes. You got to read your keys, and you have to be able to act on it. So instincts are big. And guys that love contact, So if you're looking for characteristics, those are the kind of things we're looking for, man. And obviously you got to be able to run, but everybody here can run. We got guys who love contact that just seek it. I said something to Kayvon Pope today. He was, there was a play, an inside drill, and it was over on the opposite side, and he just ran over and just made contact just to make it. I said, man, you're a contact seeker. Those types of characteristics you like. He's a young guy. He's going to be a really good player, but those are the kind of things you look for in those positions. I've been fortunate to be around some real good ones, but I mean, those guys got to be missiles, and they got to love it. And you guys know it. I mean, it's more. I mean, hell, they were at practice today. Carpenter, Josh. I mean, those guys, all those guys, historically here, have been ball players, physical, can run, and they're buying the fundamentals.
Speaking of OSU history, it wasn't too long ago that Ohio State was using a hybrid linebacker, but it was more of a defensive line.
That's right.
Linebacker hybrid
jack.
position. Yeah, they called it the Viper. What's the difference between, say, that and your safety linebacker hybrid?
Just exact to your so our guy is more back end oriented to the front. That guy was more front end oriented to the back. And so every team kind of has their niche, and a lot of it's based on what you're doing. What you're asking. Like the beautiful thing, we got the best D-line coach in America, and I'm gonna tell you this: we want those guys playing with their ears back, doing what they do great. And so like the jack guy, a lot of times will be asked to do in coverage. We want our, you know what I mean? So it's like what you ask that guy to do. I think our guy is more back end oriented to the front.
What's the name of that position?
Bullet.
Jack? Oh, Bullet. Okay.
Yeah, bullet. Yeah.
As in silver?
Is Brendan White the guy that you guys are working at that position?
Yeah.
Does he seem to be the guy?
He's had some reps. Yeah. Yeah.
What is it about him?
Well, he's an established player. Like you talk equity. He's one of those guys that's put his body work in. He's a great kid. He works his tail off. He's in all the time trying to get extra tidbits, and he's actually doing a little both. Safety and bullet. So he's taking some reps in that spot as well.
Who else is at the bullet? Who else are you looking at there?
Went is a guy that's got some reps at that spot, and really that thing it's gonna grow. Because as we go through the spring, there's so much we got to see so much more and from everybody just so you can make the best determination. At least that's been my experience. But those are the guys that kind of been getting most of the work so far.
What have you seen from an enthusiasm standpoint of these guys embracing this change, this different look? I'm talking about just the defense as a whole.
Man, they've been incredible. And I'm not just saying that. They've bought in. These guys, I said it to the linebackers at practice, they're growth-minded. Like, they want to learn more. They want to do more. They're not calling what was. And so they've been enthusiastic about it. And then the culture's right. I mean, listen, hey, Coach Marotti, that guy, man, and he's amazing. I mean, that culture is right. So when that's right, usually guys kind of fall in line. So that was my take on that.
What do you say about growth at that bullet position? Is that when you say that you guys are working on now, or is that a position that you look to recruit in future? Like, hey, that's a bullet guy. We see that in recruiting, or is it kind of a combination of both?
It's a combination of both. I mean, hell, there may be a great bullet on our team now. We just don't know yet. I think there is. We know him, but you never know, as time goes. A year from now. I've just seen it happen so many different ways. But in recruiting, I think you can kind of identify the niche guys. You know what it's a lot like offensively? You hear people talk about those five, like who's the kid at Purdue?
Rondell Moore.
Oh, that's a great example. Like that guy is a shorter. He can catch. He can run. Those dynamic guys. It's the same thing on defense. Trying to find those niche guys.
I'm going to ask like a basic question. It's like the foundation of what you guys are doing. I apologize. It sounds like football 101. Okay, so you have Tuff Borland and Pete Werner and Malik Harrison and Baron Browning and Justin Hilliard and Terada Mitchell and Kayvon Pope, and you have a filled linebacker room of good players.
Dallas
right?
Gant, don't forget
Dallas
him.
Gant, and only 2 of those guys will be on the field
most
of the time?
Based on personnel.
So sometimes you will have 3 traditional linebackers.
Sometimes you may have 4. Yeah, sometimes you may have 4.
Can you just what? I'm just curious about that because again, a lot of the time, obviously you guys last year Ohio State, you go nickel sometimes, and it's Malik and Baron Browning are the 2 linebackers in nickel, and then but on a lot of the times there's 3 linebackers on the field. But now we're talking about a position where White and Wint are former safeties who are coming into a spot.
Who are also taking safety reps too, excuse me.
But they seem like there might be fewer reps, for lack of a better word, traditional linebackers. And tell me if I'm wrong. I'm just trying to get a sense of it seems like you have a lot of good players in the linebacker room and maybe less reps at linebacker.
Yeah, I mean that's partly. I mean you can't. I mean, but it's again, man. It depends on who you're playing, and there may be a week where one guy gets. I mean, it's just part who you're playing, what you're going against. I can just tell you, we're not going to play 4 linebackers versus 10 personnel.
Right.
I mean, it's not happening. And we're not playing 2 linebackers versus 12 or 22. So it's like who you're playing and what you're asking the guy to do is the big thing. And like Greg Madison, Jeff Hafley, those guys have been through it all. And so they kind of have in their mind what kind of what we asked the guy to do, and they go about the business of doing it. So, if that answers your question.
What are your impressions of Werner from this point?
Impressions? Accountable, tough, hardworking, talented. All in, eager to learn.
So normally guys like Pete and Tuff and Malik too had taken so many reps in the fall, they would have a very light spring. But you're introducing something entirely new and you need to get a look at them. Yeah. So what is their workload like compared to what it would be if you were trying to rest them up like you might otherwise be doing?
Yeah, we got depth, so everybody, we can kind of, if we're smart about it, we kind of can manage reps. And so, yeah, you're right, you don't want to blow anybody out. Especially when you don't need to. And so, I don't know what it was like last year, but this spring it's been good in that regard. And we had a couple walk-ons in today, man. Those guys, they showed out. Ben Smeezing, Smeezy, I call him. He's a freshman walk-on from Piqua, and got out there and got a lot of 2 reps today and ran the show. So it's pretty cool to see stuff like that. And then you see Tuff working with it, talking to him. So I think I think that's a good problem to have.
So you do expect to see Brendan White and Justin Wint kind of interchange between the safety and the hybrid position?
That's where it's been. I don't know if that's the way it's going to be, but that's where it's been first couple practices. But I didn't know they're a real good player. I know Brendan White's a guy, man. He's a good player, and he's kind of earned that part of it. So and he's bought in. So I think the more versatility he has, he knows that helps him and it helps us.
You said you were looking to find another one of those guys.
How you doing? I recruited a brother. How you doing? How you sneak in?
Anyways, I was saying, so you were looking to find another one of those guys on your team this year, like Jocelyn or Brendan. How do you spot a bullet guy? What do they do in practice that says that guy would make a good bullet?
Man, it's a good question, too. You guys come with good questions. Man, it's hard to describe, Like if you see a guy, just for me, I'm just talking just me, I'm not speaking for anybody. Like when I see a guy like in high school, I see him on contact, like you see him, explode through contact, or you see him get to point A to point B really fast, just explosive, twitchy, nichey in close quarters, rangy. Just see a guy, around the ball, those types of things, but it's hard to put into one.
A little more size than the other average guy. Does he have to have a little more size? What's your take on that?
And this is just, I'm just talking from my I think if a guy's shorter, it's all good so long as he's a little thicker, and if a guy's a little taller and thinner, it's okay. But again, it's like what you ask that guy to do, Like I'm not going to ask a guy who's playing Wisconsin, to do everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you get a guy, great. And I've coached some guys that have had that skill set, but it's hard to say, man.
You sound like a guy who's happy with your unit. Because you came in and people say, oh, Washington, that's the guy we want to watch, see what he does with that unit. That unit struggled last year. You feel good about this unit, right?
Listen, I don't feel good or bad about anything.
Okay.
I look at this situation and I look at, okay, how can we improve? Here's what I do feel good about. Okay, so I go back. I do feel good about the energy, the effort, the culture. I feel good about our talent. I feel good about it. Honestly, I can't, people's opinions, they're what they are. Like, I just focus on my guys. I focus on our guys, focus on how we can help them, and I'll focus on how the next day. Like, I'm thinking, we got to watch film. We got to figure out what corrections need to be made, congratulate them on what they're doing well, encourage them, and then go on to strap it up and get ready to go back. That's kind of my mindset. It's cliche, but that's honestly how I feel.
So, in the moment.
Got to be. Because if you're not in the moment, then, I can't, when you're in it, you can't, you guys, everybody, public has the luxury to do that. We all know that. I'm in the moment. I love being here. I love Coach Day's program, Mickey, all these kids. That's all I'm focused on.
You used to Scarlet and Gray now?
I'm used to, I've always been a Scarlet and Gray guy, but, and I'm going to just say this, man, like, Jim Harbaugh, Don Brown, like, that guy, you talk about influential, like, that guy, I love him, all right? And I learned so much from him. I'm proud to say that. So that was tough. Sometimes to think about because of relationships. But I love being here for Ohio State. This is Ohio State, but I just want to say that, you know what I mean? Because it's important to say.
Just here in the couple months since being here, what are the differences between a Jim Harbaugh program and a Ryan Day?
Both elite, man. Coach Harbaugh is a great coach, man. So he's won everywhere. Super Bowls. He's been in Super Bowl. He's an elite coach. So they're both elite, man. Both elite. You're not like, look, they're both elite places. Like, there's not, I've been in some places. Like, I've been every division. I've been D3, D2, 1AA. There are vertical steps. This is. And I know I may piss some people off, but I'm not trying to. I'm just stating the fact that they're both elite coaches.
Just to clarify, you were asked earlier about making changes to personnel. You said you weren't ready to do that. But if one guy emerges, you would make a change for the better of the group, correct?
Well, yeah, every coach would, right?
Okay. I just wanted to...
How hard is that to balance, though,
Last question.
talent versus tenure, I guess, if that makes any sense?
Well, you see what you see. Like, the beautiful thing we got here is, like, the guys who have tenure are playing their tail off. Malik Harrison, Tuck Borland, Pete, Justin Hilliard, guys are playing their tail off, man. And Baron Brown's been playing well. So those older guys have been setting the table. So there's really no conflict, I'll be honest with you, in that regard. So.